A few months back, we reviewed the BUL Armory SAS 2 Ultralight, this guy, which you see in a holster and with some lint on it because it's been riding in my pants. That's how much I like this thing, which I enjoyed it. I'm not going to do much playing with it right now because it is still hot and ready to go. It's been a very comfortable, lightweight carry option that just handles fantastic. It's spectacular. My only complaint on this was it's a 3¼ inch barrel. Granted, that's part of the lightweight, that's part of what makes it so easy to carry, but I prefer to have a little more barrel to get that full velocity out of 9mm. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and we finally have the SAS 2 Tac 4.25. A little bit different than the Ultralight that you've seen before. Tabletop review coming up next on GBGuns. Inside that cardboard box is this nice range bag that we've come to expect from BUL Armory's higher end guns. That's right, this thing is not exactly what you call, I don't know, average Joe. However, it is priced, I think, quite competitively with other guns of the same type. Up top, we've got plenty of room for spare mags and an additional magazine. You have your federally mandated lock, the pistol, an additional magazine, so we've got a total of 3. Chamber flag that is nice and of the reusable type, great for ranges that require those. We've got Velcro straps to configure this to hold the pistol nicely in place however you want, and the baggie of goodies. These bags I get a kick out of because to me they're just another great example of BUL Armory and how they feel about things, their attention to detail and their pride in the product. It is a Ziploc style bag with a pull ring, but air hole in there so it doesn't get inflated and all stuck. And inside are all the accoutrements, if you will. We have, of course, the swag decals, which are pretty cool. I've gotten different ones in each of the BUL Armory pistols that we've reviewed. Nice patch. An itty bitty Allen key for takedown. Don't worry, I've got more on that later. 2 different wrenches for the optics plate, which on my gun came already mounted. I dismounted it and put the cover on there. As you guys know, we review guns as they are without introducing a third-party variable. The thing with red dots is their weight, the hood, the angle of the glass, all of that kind of stuff combined with the ammunition you use can cause a good gun to not seem to function as the brass bounces off the red dot or the weight of the red dot slows the slide down too much, etc., etc. So when we test in our videos, we do it without the dot to test the gun. Then later, we might put a dot on. Another bag with our 2 brushes. We've got a nylon brush and a brass brush, as well as a metal jag, and the owner's manual. This manual runs a little bit light in terms of information compared to what you might expect to see. However, I think they can get away with it on this model because this is not a beginner's gun. These double stack 1911s with high-end features are typically for someone who's been shooting a while and comes into the love of pistols and decides to go for a pistol like this. But the information in it does cover everything you need, including takedown, which is a little bit different than what you might be used to, as it's got a multi-part guide rod. Simple black and white, probably something that a lot of people are going to ignore. Speaking of, let's get onto that pistol. And here it is. Beautiful, beautiful. Check for clear. In fact, we'll just slide back and check for magazine release or ejection, as we always do. Gun upside down, slide back. Do we get... There's a little bit of a kick. Of course it will drop free. Don't have to worry about that. But it's nice to know if there's a little bit of extra help there or not. Witness windows are just the medium, less medium, and full. 17 rounds is what I was able to fit in here. Got quite a nice aluminum mag well on the bottom there. But before I get too ahead of myself, let's get back to our regular protocol. Starting up front, big, thick bull barrel with just a little bit of hidden crowning inside there by the rifling to protect it. This edge is so smooth and flat, I can't think of a good description of it. It looks like a washer, but I've never felt a washer that was this smooth or flat. Just a perfect machining on there. Really spectacular, and you can see this is a bushingless system. It's got a tapered barrel. We've got plenty of rail space underneath for lights or lasers or chainsaws for CNN, if they're still into that. I don't know, I haven't watched CNN in a long time. Front cogging serrations that work just fine. Even with the hammer down, that was easy. And we've got some lightning cuts on the slide up here that look like they're begging for ports. I've seen photos of a version of a BUL Armory pistol that has porting up there, which I think would be kind of cool. But as a tactical pistol, let's leave the porting out. We have steel, aluminum, and then polymer, as you've seen on a lot of these dual-stack 1911 setups. That helps with the weight. This thing doesn't feel particularly heavy for as large of a gun as it is. Front of our trigger guard, we have a little bit of texturing for those who like to grip forward there. You can also see there are some serrations on the front of the trigger itself with access to adjust it. We always run things as they come out of the box. We do have a double undercut on the trigger guard, great for getting the support hand just a little bit higher. And since we're here, let's get into trigger talk a little early, shall we? I'm excited. With the grip safety depressed, come back to a wall, brake. The brake is not glass rod, but it's pretty good. Our reset, very short, audible, and you can feel it, and it takes you right back to that wall again. It's definitely a pistol that can be run quickly if need be. You can see our magazine release is extended just slightly, but if you look down deep in there, it's also threaded. So those who want to put a paddle type thing on there, I'm assuming there's going to be, if there aren't already, some options out there. Fine checkering on the front strap and the skateboard tape style on the sides. Take a look down at our magazine well. Flared all the way around. Also a great way to get index on your red dot by squeezing your pinky finger. Helps bring the nose of the gun down. Typically when people are searching for a dot, their nose high, so squeezing that pinky helps with that. Back strap has the same texturing as the front strap. Nice big extended grip safety and beaver tail, and you see a very well skeletonized hammer. Let me drop it so you can see right through there. They dropped about as much weight out of that as possible and still have hammer. Slide to frame fit up front is rock solid. Our lockup on top is rock solid, and slide to frame fit in the back is also good and tight. 3 black sights, as in no dots. And this cutout here is for the optics plate. You can see that everything is sort of lowered there to help get that sight low, and with those tall sights, I'm sure co-witnessing is not going to be an issue at all. On the right side of the gun, we do have an ambidextrous safety. And I noticed earlier, one of the big things that happens on 1911s with ambidextrous safeties, because of the way the splines meet in the middle, is you can get some looseness. I'm not feeling any wiggle or looseness in this at all. It's got a good, crisp, you know when it's on, you know when it's off. It's got a good defined detent to it, which is nice. And coming around the right side of the gun, everything standard as you'd expect on a 1911. Now we'll field strip this, and I'll show you something interesting if you're not used to those telescoping guide rods. Field stripping the SAS 2, as I warned, is a little bit different than what you might be expecting thinking 1911. We're going to bring the slide back until, actually I'll zoom instead of bring to the camera. There we go. There's a little tab on the slide release. It's going to line up with that window, and then you're going to push on this piece over here. Now this is recessed, so it's a little tough to get to. What I found worked for me, and pardon me as I do this while looking through the camera instead of doing it with the naked eye, is my Real Avid pistol tool. This little poker scraper tool is excellent for being able to push on stuff that you can't quite get to with your finger, and it's non-marring. Must have slipped off. Come on. Let me do this part off camera. We got it going, and pardon my neighbor's parenting skills if you guys are hearing the kids screaming across the street. Then once it's going, you can only get it part way, so a little pry there lifts it up, pulls out your takedown lever, and we're going to bring the slide off the gun by letting it go forward. holding on to the spring just in case. It does something like that. Let's just take a look inside the frame. See, nice lengthy rails, a big beefy ejector, and everything else kept very clean and to the point. Now, as far as dealing with this recoil spring, there is a little hole you might be able to see right in there, and that is what the included itty bitty Allen wrench fits into. And you might be thinking, oh great, I'm going to lose that wrench. There's no way I can hold on to that. Well, there's a solution for that. I've already got one made. It's a paper clip. And I'll show you what you do. I'm going to shove this forward until that hole appears. Put your paper clip in there. And if you're wondering how I got this bend in here, I did it by doing that and just letting it go and letting the gun compress it. Don't worry, the paper clip is softer than your gun metal. If not, change guns. So with that now compressed, we can bring this spring out because the paper clip is thin enough. All you do have to kind of rotate, and I'll leave that there. That's your recoil assembly. Now we can knock down on this link, unlock the barrel by lifting a little bit and pushing forward, and it comes out the front. It gives us a chance to take a look inside the slide. You can see obviously this is a 70s series. It's part of that clean trigger thing. And nice and lightweight. We'll now do our chamber check, but first I'm going to show you, hopefully you can get a view from there of the scale of the bullishness of this barrel. Part of the bushingless design is this diameter out here is bigger than back here. And let me wipe this clean real quick and we'll do our chamber fitment test. Now with that clean, you can see the nice polish to the ramp there. Kind of a long ramp. We're going to check for chamber fitment with known good quality ammunition. This is some Liberty Ammunition Civil Defense, nickel plated, that's why it's shiny. Also helps reduce friction. Drop it in, listen for the plunk, like that. See if we get free rotation, and we do. And then we're looking to see how much of the case is exposed. And this is where in the 1911 versus Glock crowd, come on camera, there we go. Why you can see people are fans of 1911s. That is about as much case support as you can find. That means if the case should try to rupture, the energy is still going out the front of the barrel and not back down into the gun. The last bit of making sure that we've got a good sound chamber is making sure the round drops out freely, as it did. Reassembly is the inverse of disassembly. As I go through that, I'll let you know what you can expect to see in the range video. You'll get our absolute cold shots, first impressions, the first shots that we put through this gun we do on camera. Good or bad, you see it. I'll do full magazine plus one, see how the gun runs fully stuffed, since not all guns are happy about that. Then we'll do our trademark What's for Dinner test, run 10 additional loads through the gun to see what it will and will not eat. From there, take it over to the spinner, which should be comically fun with this gun for sights and trigger control. Do some practical accuracy shots, 5 shots from 7 yards, and then give you concluding thoughts after we've done all of that. For full specs and details on this thing, head over to GBGunsDepot.com. That is our website that we pay to host because we can do things like put prices and direct links and other information that YouTube does not want us to post on here. We can post over there with complete control of our own domain. Part of the cost of being a journalist, I guess. But that concludes the SAS 2 Tac 4.25 Tabletop. I'm really looking forward to getting this thing to the range. Don't know the order you guys are going to see these videos in, but as of the day that I'm filming this, I'm hoping to get to the range within a day or two. Thanks for watching.